Hello, everybody. Welcome to this week's edition of Valpo Football Preview, along with head coach Dave Cecchini. This is Todd Ickow. Today we'll kind of start by what's going on the past week. We talked to you after the great win. Really was obviously one of the great wins during your tenure at Valpo over Marist. And then you had the whole week off. Right. What has happened?
Yeah, well, we kind of went back to the basics, fundamentals, got a lot of players involved in practice. Freshmen, redshirt guys, players that basically have been simulating our opponents' offenses and defense. We call them the scout team, and it was able to just kind of take a step back from game planning and just go out there and teach the basic fundamentals, blocking, tackling, those sort of things, and then letting those younger guys get back to running Valpo's offense, Valpo's defense, and then getting a little banging, getting some scrimmaging in one day. We were able to get about almost 30 snaps of live work in there and let those younger players have some success. And it was a pretty good week, and we were able to heal up a couple of our players. Some bumps and bruises and things, let those guys rest and rehabilitate and hopefully get ready to go here for Morehead.
I think when the bye week comes right in the middle of the conference season, it's almost ideal. You kind of recharge, refocus, but maybe more importantly, it's like a full 2 weeks for guys to heal who've had nagging injuries throughout the course of the first month of the season.
Sure. Yeah, I don't care who you are, if it's a Division III team or it's Ohio State, you've got injuries at this point in the season, and it's just the nature of football. And so to get the break, the week off, to get some of our players to get them back onto the fields in some cases. In other cases, we've had guys that have been playing, but they've just been playing banged up, playing at 70, 75%, and we're trying to get them to 95, 100%.
You look at the PFL this year, so we finally have time to kind of discuss this. It's been one of the strangest years.
Right.
The up and down scores, you look at how well Morehead has played at times, and then you look at a few other scores and you go, what happened there? And certainly Butler at the beginning of the year, you looked like they would probably be down in the lower half of the league. Every week they seem to be getting better, and that's what everybody strives to, but obviously the Butler victory over Campbell was maybe the most eye-popping score all year in the PFL.
Yeah, no, I think it was a huge win for Butler and a disappointing loss for Campbell team that really held the league championship. They were in their control their own destiny, and you saw two teams that went in, both forcing a lot of turnovers and both teams not turning the football over, and it went Butler's way in the terms of the turnover margin, and they were able to produce some points off the turnovers and win the game. But Todd, I attribute a lot of what's going on this year to, I think, the most parity that we've had in the league since I became the head coach here. There's just so many teams that you can't count out. They've got dangerous players, they've got talented offenses, talented defenses, and it's a tough league in terms of the travel. You have a lot of long distances, flights, and that brings with it some unique challenges and some focus issues. And so really going into it, we kind of knew as a staff that this year, this championship was up for grabs, and that really anybody could beat anybody on any given Saturday, and that's kind of been proven true here so far, and we still got 4 more weeks to go.
Looks like San Diego maybe has taken the step forward, and they're the class of the league.
Yes, well, right now they're definitely in first place, but they've played some close contests, and their defense isn't quite as good as I think it was a year ago. They're certainly a very good offensive team, and they're coming off a huge win against a Jacksonville program that's getting better. So right now they're in the driver's seat, but who knows what's going to happen here.
You certainly have PFL being wide open. You look at the final 4 games of the year. Anything can happen in those final 4 games, starting with Morehead on Saturday. A team, as I said, up and down certainly this year. What can you tell us about them?
Yeah, well, they're a dangerous football team. I don't know if I've seen a team that's had more fourth quarter comebacks in the last couple of seasons than Morehead. They did it again this past Saturday against Stetson. They held the lead most of the game, but then lost it with just, I believe, under 3 minutes to play and had to drive about 75 yards to score a touchdown to take the lead. They went all the way down, scored with about 30 seconds to go in the game, and they've done that multiple times over the last couple of years. They're a dangerous football team. Now, in the past, they've done it mostly through the air. They've had some great quarterbacks who have been able to throw it to a talented group of receivers. They still have some talented receivers, but they've got a quarterback who's as good a run threat as he is a passing threat. And so that's going to be a challenge for our defense.
You mentioned those fourth quarter Morehead comebacks. We've seen them firsthand.
Right,
I mean,
sure.
a lot of close games with Morehead and Valpo over the years.
Yeah, I mean, every single one of them has come down to the final 2 possessions of the football game, and Morehead's been able to step up and make the plays in those critical moments, and we have not. And our players certainly are aware of that, and that's something that we're talking about this week. To win the fourth quarter this coming week is going to be huge.
How about coming off the big win, even though it's a bye week, the team antsy to get back on the field, I assume, by now?
Yeah, definitely. Particularly, you have a lot of those players who they're used to being the spotlight guys. They've been out there, we're scheming to get them the football, or they're used to taking the first team reps. And then this past week, a lot of those guys that have been healing have kind of taken a back seat to the younger guys, and they've done a great job kind of being in a mentoring or a coaching role, helping those young guys get better, taking some reps in a lot of cases, but not nearly as many as they're used to. So they're re-energized and ready to go for this week.
Dave, is part of the really strong performance this past Saturday simply because you play so many young guys and that some of them kind of grown up over the past month?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. That's definitely part of our philosophy, particularly early on in the season when you play non-conference games, is to play a lot of players because you know that throughout the year it's a long season. Guys are going to go down, and you're going to need to rely on a second-team player or even in some cases a third-team player. We talk about how we've, at the quarterback position, we've gone through 3 quarterbacks or in some cases 4 quarterbacks every single year that I've been here due to injury. So you want to get players, you want to be proactive and get them that game experience early on. And that's becoming more and more of a temptation to not do that when you develop some depth and you have some really good starters, but you have to resist that urge because, this is a marathon, not a sprint. And you hope that while it may have been a step back when you play those players against a team like Montana or Duquesne, hopefully the payoff is here when you get to weeks 8, 9, 10, and 11 in the season. You've got players that have more experience and some players that are just a little bit healthier because of that as well.
All right, we certainly saw a good performance a week ago, and we're hoping for a similar performance, weather being better.
That's right.
This upcoming Saturday against Morehead. Good luck, Dave.
All right, thanks, Todd.
For head coach Dave Cecchini, this is Todd Ickow. Thanks for joining us this week on Valpo Football Preview.